G'day guys, how's it going? Welcome to Shit Easy Motorcycle Camp Cooking. This week what we're doing is bacon and eggs, and now we're using the Spam type ham. So remember, this is so that we don't have refrigeration and we can only take stuff that can survive out of refrigeration for X amount of time. And I'd say what I normally use it for is just for like a weekend. So whether I take off on the Friday afternoon and we head out, just go gung-ho to get to a certain point, we pull up there, set up, and in the morning we then have bacon and eggs. And then hopefully, and this all depends on heat, you know, if you're in the bloody desert and it's scorching hot, well then certain things like spinach leaves may not last till the following morning. Things like the cheese, the cherry tomatoes, obviously the tinned meat, not going to have a problem, doesn't matter what bloody temperature it is. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll bring you down and I'm going to basically open these two tins. So these two tins here, one is the Spam bacon, so it's very particular for doing bacon, I suppose. The other one's just your leg ham, but I like the fact that this was a smaller tin, so this would be perfect for doing one morning. See, as soon as you open this up, you need to refrigerate it. While it's sealed as it is, not a problem, you can just carry it along. The other thing I didn't mention was the eggs. So obviously eggs, if you can manage to cart them some way in a saddlebag going bump, 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 and not break them. I've had it kind of like, I've had really good runs with it, and I've done heaps of stuff, and I've travelled lots of bloody miles with eggs in bags and stuff like that. The thing that I find when you carry it in one of these, so this is just a hard case, so I've got 2 eggs in there. Oh, hopefully you guys can see it. So basically it just has that round bit there where the egg sits in, and then on the other side, if you can see, there's these little things. And what, I'm not really explaining that well, that closes down, and obviously all eggs come in different sizes, so there's a little bit of rattle in that, and that's not too bad. But if the eggs are too small, I've just put tissue paper in there just to make it so that they're quite solid in there. But the biggest thing is to, when you've got them in your bag, to have them sitting that way. Don't put them on their sides. I've done that and I know 100% that does not work, that you're going to break an egg. If you can keep them like that, you're all good. Majority of the time, obviously, exceptions are always the case. So that's not a problem, don't need refrigeration for that. You can go with powdered egg. I'm a bit of a, I've tried this and I've done like with pancakes, making my own pancake stuff, which I'll do in other videos. This is like the dehydrated stuff. It just has that funny taste to it. One time I made it and I did scrambled eggs with it, and it tasted really good, but I'm yet to replicate it, and at the time I didn't make a note of what I did, and that's like putting a bit of sugar, a bit of salt, because using the milk powder, not milk, just milk powder. So I've got to get back to that. But what I use, and I'm rambling now, is just the old plain old eggs. Alright, let's come down and have a look at this ham stuff. Alright guys, so here we go. We're going to do the Spam bacon. Spam actually has a whole heap of different ones. I can't remember what they are. I suppose it would be Spam, just normal Spam, and then they've got Spam bacon and a few other things. So we just open her up. Nothing too hard about that. You look at it and go, oh no, that looks horrible. And then you smell it and it's okay, but it's still not, I don't like that smell. It's Spam. So what we're going to do is just basically get this out. Like that. And there's that. I'll grab this other one out. So this is just, was it Plume Rose leg ham. Oh no, crap all over me. Get off. pretty much smells identical. I think that smells just a little stronger. Right. Come out. There you go. Now that's what they look like. Now what I've found is that this one seems to hold together when you cut it better than what the leg ham does. I'm just going to get myself a rag. Hang on, guys. Alright. We'll get our little multi-tool. We'll cut this stuff up. I bet you I got the bloody wrong one every time. Alright, so this is the spam bacon stuff. Now, I didn't tell you, the way to make this taste like bacon is to get the slices as thin as possible without it going all stupid, and then cooking it in there. If you do a big chunk like that and then you're just cooking either side of that, the stuff inside doesn't really cook. I mean, just like normal meat, so you still get that taste, that smell of it. But if you really thinly cut it, which is what bacon is, it's really thin cut stuff, so it makes sense. That's how you make this taste like bacon. So we'll just cut this up. Alright, so I've got that thinly cut up. Now this one, I'm going to cut this one, and I'm hoping it'll do what it did. Nice feeling. Yeah, it's a little bit, but it's still, this is actually working a little bit better than when I first tried it. Yeah, you can see it starts to tear away a little bit. Yeah, you can see it more there. I was gone a bit thinner there. But yeah, it gets that teary stuff, whereas this stuff seems to hold together a lot better. Which, for what we're trying to do, is a better option. But, I mean, this would still work. Alright, so that's that part. Alright, so I've cleaned a little bit of mess up. So that's the ham that we're going to cook up, which is the spam bacon. The other stuff I've just moved out of the way. I'm not going to use that. When I did it, they were pretty much the same. There's just a slight little change. So either one's going to work. And as I said, this one seems to hold together better, making it easier to thinly slice the spam. We have our eggs in the little bag here. So this is that whole thing. I have my breakfast all kind of like it all together. Now you can use oil for cooking in there, or at the moment I'm just going through this thing of only using butter when I cook stuff. And that's another thing with these videos. I'm not touching on health bloody benefits and, you know, oh, you get more protein out of this one and out of that one and all that kind of stuff. This is basically just something should eat. We're not trying to live off this from day to day. This is just every now and then when we're going out and we want something to be able to cook up. You know, it's a bit like going to McDonald's every, you know, maybe once a week or something like that. It's not going to kill you if you eat it. Got my spinach, and here's my cherry tomatoes. Always have my cherry tomatoes. So what I like to do, and this is whether I'm out camping or at home, basically always get myself set up, and I have a little process that I do. I'll grab one stick of butter, just chuck that in there. Most probably a bit much for that one, but we'll go with it. Fold that back up. Now that's me ham that I'm going to cook up. So I just cut my cherry tomatoes up. You don't have to cut them up. I just like cutting them into little pieces. Got that like that. Throw the spinach on there, like that. Now for the cheese, so we all know that this cheese is fine, no refrigeration necessary. Squeeze those little suckers out. Now you can use those little, you can buy these in little, what do they call them, little quarters, or you can buy the block stuff. I just find these are really useful. The only tricky bit is just getting them out. So now all I've got to do is just chop this up a little bit. Because what I want this to do, I like it when the cheese melts. So the smaller I make this, the better this is gonna, when it's on here, when the ham and when the eggs and the bacon and all that go on there, it's gonna help melt it a little bit. But I've had this without it melting, and it seems to be fine. I'll just chuck all that on there. See, look, it's already looking bloody good. All right, we'll get this thing going. Oh, where am I? There you go. Oh, my knife and fork. Down for a bit. Oh, so now we just got to crack the eggs in there. Whoa, Jesus. Oh, look at that. With me stuffing around, I broke one. But that's alright, because in this plastic thing I can save it. Now, I think I'm making more of a mess than what I would normally do when I'm out camping. Things like the egg, you can just throw that. The egg will just degrade into the bloody ground. It's no problem, and we put that in our bloody garden patch. So all we've got to do is cook this up. While that's doing that, I was actually... sometimes when it's really cold and you get your eggs out, and then while you're frying the ham or the bacon, you know, your eggs can get a bit cold, and you know, we're trying to get something warm. So I can do this. Actually, I won't do it because you mightn't be able to see what I'm doing. What I can do, I don't always do this, every now and then I've played around with the idea, but I put that around it. When I put the eggs onto there and put the ham in, I then put this up on top, and it sits up on this thing, so the heat in there is heating all this and keeping that a lot warmer. You know, if it's summer or bloody, you know, it's warm weather, you don't really have to worry about it, but you know, some of those real cold mornings where it's bloody 1 degrees, it's a bit nicer to do that. That's cooking up all right. I might just flip this over so I don't have any of that gooey stuff. Whack that on there. There. I like, for me, obviously everybody's different how they like their eggs. I like the yellow stuff, or the yolk. I like that runny. I can have it either way, but I don't like it when the white stuff is runny. It's a bit like snot. Alright, so now all we've got to do is throw this ham on. Now this is the only problem with using a small pan like this. Whoa. Is that you've got to overlap the ham. Like when I'm at home, you know, I can lay it out so that they're all by themselves. You know, and you can bring a bigger pan, but then it's something bigger that you've got to bring and put in the thing. So I find that I can manage with this. So I'll just now show you what I would do here. So wrap that around there like that. Get that out of the mix. Basically just put that over there so that'll keep that heat coming through it. And then when I needed to, you know, turn stuff, I just move that out of the way for the moment and then put it back. So, alright. You know, I have no idea what the bloody hell I'm doing, guys. So the game now is just to make sure I get all those pieces of ham, you know, browned off, nearly to burning, or partly burned, and then it should take good. So I'll come back to you when that's done. So there you go, guys, that should be pretty much done. So this is what I normally do every day for breakfast, or, you know, bloody sometimes it ends up being lunch. That was the other difference between the Spam and this stuff. It seems to, I don't know, it seems to be maybe a bit more oily or whatever. It just seems to, I don't know, sizzle better. There we go, and that's it. That's your bacon and eggs with cheese, cherry tomatoes and spinach, and that didn't have to be refrigerated. So now you want me to bloody eat it. Well, I have no problem whatsoever eating this. Very hint of Spam, and that's when you get those hints of Spam, it's where it hasn't been fully cooked. So that's why you try and get it as, you know, cooked as possible, or nearly burnt. But I have no problem eating. This is actually good. As you can see, not all the cheese is, not all the cheese is melted. But yeah, that's cool. I'll tell you what, when you're out camping, this is just, it's just so much better than a bloody crunchy nut bar, I can tell you. And I'm sure I'll be getting more protein or whatever out of that. I'm sure someone will tell me I'm going to die or something because I'm eating it. So at the end of this, I used to have plastic plates. I've tried metal plates, and I've ended up resorting to just the cheap paper plates that you get at the supermarket, because when this is finished there's no washing up of that just gets thrown into the campfire, and yeah, you got no dishes there. It's only getting this, and I don't know, this seems to get a bit burnt more than what usual, but that's the problem. Eventually, you know, that Teflon or whatever the hell non-stick stuff, yeah, you end up getting that. But I have my little wash basin, which I have the little scourer and that, and I have a little bottle of oh, can you hear the chooks over there? Dishwashing liquid that all goes in there. So that'll clean up the pan, the knives and forks, the spatula and that. It's no, you know, boil up some water, chuck it in that, and away you go. So there you go, guys. Look, I'll stop bloody munching out because I'm actually driving crazy. So there you go, guys. Hopefully I didn't gross you out there with me eating, but I reckon that should have come up pretty good. If you haven't tried Spam and you like bacon, I would say give it a whirl. It doesn't, you know, it's a couple of, I don't know how much it was, $4 or $5 from the supermarket for a tin of that. All the smaller stuff. Just remember, really thinly slice it like it would be like bacon is, and then really give it a cook up in there, you know, till it gets to that burning, the burning taste. Actually, the burning part actually does add to the flavour. And if you like bacon, I reckon you won't have a problem with eating that stuff. So there you go. The spinach, the cherry tomatoes, the eggs, and the cheese, and obviously the Spam. There's no refrigeration required. The only thing I would say is the spinach, depending on the heat of where you are, may make them, you know, get a bit wilted or whatever. So maybe on the second night you might go, oh, I'm not going to have the spinach, I'll just have the cheese, the cherry tomatoes, the eggs, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so there you go. I got lots of comments. You guys all loved that bloody last cooking thing, which is really good. I haven't got any comments and answers organised. I'm in a real bloody rush. I wanted to get this done during the daylight instead of at night time. It always ends up being night time now because I'm just flat out doing stuff. And I've got to take off to do the post run with all the parcels, so I'm kind of like rushing it a bit. Yeah, so there was some comments. Some people mentioned about it'd be great if you had showed the system for doing, you know, the cleanup, because that's a lot of people avoid doing this type of stuff because it just becomes too much hassle. Alistair is the same. He'll tell you he's just lazy. He doesn't want to deal with all the cooking, so he'll take protein bars and all that kind of stuff. That's what he'll do. And obviously, if he can go somewhere and buy something, he'll do that. For me, I enjoy figuring these things out. As you know, I'm a tinkerer, and I just love doing this stuff. You know, sometimes you're on a rush, and a lot of the times you're on a rush. But I think sometimes you just got to go, no, let's stop and smell the roses, as they say, and just take a bit of time to do that. And if you do it in certain ways, and I try and make it as easy as possible. I know I'm rambling now, so I will do a video of maybe some of the stuff that I use and how I do things to clean stuff up. You know, obviously I mentioned about the paper plate, but yeah, you can make it fairly easy. And I think if you put yourself in the position, like the mindset, going, oh, I've got to get this done, and oh shit, we're leaving at bloody 9 o'clock and all that kind of stuff. When we go out, we have ideas of what we want to do. That's when I'm with Alistair or somebody else. We always have a set thing, and we want to plan by something. But when we're there, we go, right, this is what we're doing. But if it takes us a little bit longer, so be it. It's the same with if we have a set goal to go to somewhere.
that's where we want to go. But if we don't make it or we want to veer off, we always have set plans, but we don't have to stick to them. I think if you can do that, that helps with, it just, I don't know, it makes it easier. I'm really rambling now. All right, guys. So next week, what are we doing? I think next week what we'll do is we'll delve straight into the whole, carrying tins of stuff or having the dehydrated stuff. I think explain that. So we'll do the stew, what I call stew. Some people call it soup. So the Heinz chunky. And I don't know whether it's the American guys. You guys reckon that Heinz stuff is like, I wouldn't bloody touch that kind of shit with a bloody 10-foot pole. But yeah, we'll go through that and that dehydrated stuff. All right, cool. Keep on riding, guys.